What is damage triggered AoE? Today on RPG Boons. I was going through the new player's handbook from Dungeons and Dragons in the appendix where they have all the monsters. And, in the past, I had speculated whether or not, the Matt Colville effect would take over in these monsters. And you would see a lot more bonus actions, reactions, and the monsters would be a little more exciting. Now, there is a little bit of that. But in general, these monsters kind of suck. In addition, there's no villains in this appendix, but I'm going to show you where in this book you can use some stat blocks to make a villain. More importantly, we're going to talk about AoE, area of effect. This is a way to guarantee that your players suffer a little bit of damage or a little bit of an effect. And this is a good thing. You're not here to kill your players, but you are here to challenge them. So the one thing I wanted to go over today was the triggered damage effects. And it's pretty simple. It's a 30-foot radius, and as soon as that monster's hit points get down to 75, 50, or 25, it triggers a damage type that happens. Now, depending on the type of effect or the type of villain you have or the type of monster you have, you got to try to determine what type of damage you want to use for that. Now, regardless of what edition you're playing, whether it be 5.0 or 5.5, you can see that the damage types essentially stood the same, so you don't really need to worry about what damages you should be using. Set those DCs at 10, 12, 15, especially for those low-level characters. Now, the other question becomes, how much damage should I do? How can I make it fair and balanced, but also challenging for my players? Now, this is a formula that I've used in the past. It's 1d6 per 2 character levels. So here it is an example. Level 3 PCs, you do 1d6, so round that down. A level 6 PCs, it's 3d6 damage. If you take the average, that's about 12 damage. Or if you take the average on a first level PC, that's 4 damage. So it really just depends on how much damage you want to hurt these guys. Now, I said 75, 50, and 25. If that's a little too much, make it at the 50 hallmark. Now, what if you're not interested in damaging your players, but you still want to challenge them or make it a little more difficult for them to just wipe out that BBEG? I really like the blinded condition. What happens is the players automatically fail ability checks, and in addition, they have disadvantage at attacking the monsters. And of course, with that DC 10, 12, 15, you can easily make them do rerolls to try to get out of that blinded condition. Or you can impose the certain amount of rounds that they would be blinded, let's just say 1 or 2 rounds to make it really easy. You don't really want to annoy the crap out of them, but you do want to make it a little more difficult. Now, the final thing that I'll recommend for this AoE damage triggered effect is essentially a knockback. Now, in my example, or at least in my campaign, I had a hag. I thought she was a little too weak. So what I did is I made her scream like Sindel. So I decided to add in this little pushback effect that would cause players to fly back 15 feet if they were unable to save. Now, the battle was happening on top of a tree, a giant tree, and so anytime that the players got blown back, they had the potential of falling down the tree and taking some damage. Of course, I made them make another dexterity check. They're able just to grab something, make it easy, DC 10, DC 8. You don't really want them to fall and get hurt, but in some cases they did. And that's pretty much it. Damage triggered AoE happening at 75, 50%, or 25%. Use that formula 1d6 per 2 character levels. Round it down. If you're not interested in causing that damage, add that blinded condition. Finally, add that pushback or knockback, knock them off that tree, knock them off that small fort, make it a lot more difficult to them. Just go straight up and start attacking your BBEG and wipe them out. My name is Don Franco 3. This is RPG Boons, where we talk about everything RPG and how everything is RP. If you like the cut of my gibberish, please hit the buttons. You know which ones to push. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Talk to you later. Wait. I forgot to tell you guys one last thing. Where do you get that good BBEG stat block? It's actually underneath Summon Undead. Here we go. Page 322. Summon Aberration, Summon Beast. There's a nice set of stat blocks there that you can use for BBEGs because the player's handbook does come with that appendix with creatures in it, but you also need an evil villain, and these are really decent stat blocks that you can use. On top of that, you can add the AoE effect I just showed you guys. And that's it. Take it easy.